In a previous lesson, we looked at how to view the Revit API a few different ways. Some of these ways included viewing them on the web. In this lesson, we're going to look at how you can view the Revit API and interact with it directly within Revit itself. This is using a Revit plugin called Revit Lookup. Revit Lookup is open source and freely available on GitHub, and it's provided by the Building Coder. The Building Coder is a blog from an Autodesk employee named Jeremy Tamick, and it's open source for all of us to be able to use to interact with the Revit database, which is really awesome. So in this lesson, we're going to look at how to install it from GitHub and how to use it directly within Revit. With that in mind, we are going to use Revit Lookup throughout the rest of these lessons in this course. So this is a really important step to follow because we are going to use it pretty often. I also believe that you'll use it more often after this course. I use it nearly every day, and it is a vital tool within your Revit API journey in regards to Python. So it's going to get this installed now. So here we are on GitHub on the Revit Lookup repository. So the link for this repository is provided in the dataset for this lesson. GitHub can be a little bit overwhelming, but in our case, what we're going to focus on right now is the release section. So in the middle portion of the screen towards the right, we will see releases. This is where we can download all the individual releases for Revit Lookup. This includes each Revit version that they've built it for. If you have a GitHub account, which I highly encourage you just to sign up for one, you can actually star the repository to save it to your profile as a bookmark. So I'd encourage you to go ahead and star it as well. All we need to do is go ahead and click on this 2023.1, and we're able to download the MSI file to be able to install Revit Lookup. We'll go ahead and click on that now. We'll download that and install it. And I have Revit 23 open already, so we'll see something that pops up on the screen as well. In this case, since this is an open source tool that's freely provided, it is not signed, so Windows kind of tells us, hey, are you sure you want to run this? It's safe. Everyone uses it who's making the Revit API plugins, so we're good to go. We're going to click on Run, and all we need to do is navigate through all of the installation methods. By default, if you have Revit open already, you are going to get a pop-up that says, hey, a new plugin's been added. We can't verify where it comes from. Do you want to load it? This was introduced a while back in Revit to where publishers have to sign their plugins, and the Revit Lookup is not signed, so we are able just to click on Always Load to load it. After we click on that button, we will see that it appears under the Add-ins tab under its own panel called Revit Lookup. In this case, if we just go ahead and navigate to a 3D view and we select something like a wall, for instance, I really like to use walls for these examples because that's something we're all familiar with. Navigate to Add-ins, Revit Lookup, you can actually snoop the selection. So we're going to click on that, and it will show us all the options available to us for this Revit element. In this case, we can get its bounding box. We can see which category it is, if it has a phase created or demolished. -1 in the Revit API is an invalid element ID. So that means that this wall was not demolished. You can get its geometry. You can click into these fields and investigate them further. In this case, we can see all the parameters that are included. So all the different parameters we have access to. If we wanted to go ahead and click OK, we can go back. You can actually navigate down to the wall type. In this case, you can extract all the type parameters for the wall as well. So you can start to dive down in a very logical manner to investigate these elements. This tool is essential if you're building Revit plugins, Python scripts in Dynamo, or even just using Dynamo. It's really helpful as well. So that's kind of an overview on how to use the Revit Lookup. There are other options in here. So there's like snooping the active view to see what all's available in the view. So in this case, you can see that the view has a bounding box. You can see the parameters in the view, dependent elements, all of that good stuff. Another one that's really nice is you can just snoop the overall application to see what all's available. So in the case of like project information, that is going to be at the application level on the document. So you can actually go down through all of your documents and get all that information as well. And as you can see, project information is right here. So using the Revit API, you would work down from application to the document to the project information. So you can kind of see how that stepping starts to work, and it reinforces that object-oriented thinking as well. In this case, we are going to use this a few times throughout the lessons to investigate what we can do with the Revit API, but always have it installed, and it's a really essential tool in your toolkit. So with that in mind, you now have Revit Lookup installed. You're ready to go to snoop the Revit database and be able to continue interacting with the Revit API. I'll see you in the next lesson.